please. Do we have any question? Any question, please?
Question.
Okay. So I want to believe that we've all done the assignment. Or let me assume that we actually went through what we did. Remember, I asked us to get a different data set and perform all the data cleaning techniques we considered yesterday. All right, so while we are still waiting for them, so let me just recap what we actually did in yesterday's class for the 5 minutes. The next 5 minutes. So we were still on data cleaning. I told us that data cleaning is an essential part of data analysis, which cannot be avoided. And I told us that the essence of cleaning your data is to perfect it so that your analysis will be accurate, so that at the end of your analysis, you will not come up with misleading statistics. That is the reason why we have spent about 2 meetings talking about data cleaning, perfecting our data before we start analyzing them. So we look at so many techniques on how you can clean up your data. We look at how to add new features and new series. We also looked at how to change your dates formats if it doesn't align with the global database standard. We also talk about how to rename your series or the worksheets and so many other techniques. So this session, we are actually going into analysis with some Excel statistical functions. So I refer to this set of functions as intermediate statistical functions. Why I refer to them as intermediate statistical functions? Because they are actually a little bit above the basics. When we talk about Excel basic statistical functions for data analysis, we should be talking about sum. We should be talking about counts. We should be talking about average. But the moment you start attaching certain conditions, particularly single condition, it becomes a little bit advanced than the basic. But because we still have another category of this set of statistical functions, which are higher than this set of functions that are basically used where a single condition or criteria is required for analyzing your data. That is why I have to recognize this set as intermediate. So let's quickly look at them. So data analysis using Excel intermediate functions. These are statistical functions in between the basic and the advanced statistical functions in Excel, which are very much used in the field of data analysis, particularly with Microsoft Excel. So let's look at them one after the other. So the first one is, we want to look at the minimum function. And then we'll also at some point see how we can join the minimum and the if function to actually get what we want to achieve. Now, let's assume that you are given this set of numbers and you are asked to find the minimum where number is greater than 70. So I'm just using this scenario. We actually relate it with the data sets we are working on, which is the Amazon data, which can as well be related to any other data. Now, don't forget that I told us that in this field, for you to be able to be effective with your findings, always project the mind of the CEO or the manager that will help you to be able to know the kind of analysis that you might be asked to perform when you are given a data set. So for example, we have our analysis sheet created where we have said all our insights will be reported here. So now I am going to ask the question where I'm going to use the minimum so that you know how it can actually be related to a situation if you are working in an organization. So let's ask ourselves a question. So let me just copy this, paste it here. Change the question number to 3. So looking at our data here, what kind of question we actually involve the minimum statistical function we are talking about? So let's focus on the profits. Let's focus on the profits. Now, supposing we are asked to find the minimum profits in this particular column, the minimum profits. For certain reason, the organization wants to know in order to make certain decisions. They want to know, it might be that they want to know which of the country actually generated the minimum profits. So what we need to do is to be able to find out which of this number is the minimum, and then probably to get the country figured out, we will just trace it to the country column and be able to find out that. So you can see that there are some analysis questions that will not go direct, whereby you have to answer the first part of the question before you can actually get exactly what you are looking for. So there are a lot of scenarios where it goes that way. So you need to be able to think your way out. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, let's assume that, let's construct the question. So the question is, what is, let me use uppercase so that you align with other writers. What is the minimum? What is the minimum profits? What is the minimum profit? So this is where we are expected to display the answer. So I will start by entering equal sign, which is the standard rule for entry functions or formula. Then I'll simply type the main function and then complete it by opening the parenthesis brackets. Now, if you look at the syntax of the function, it says we should specify the range where we have the set of numbers we actually want to find out the minimum. So this is still intersheet reference because we are writing our function in a different sheet from the sheet where we have our source data. So which means that we have to switch to the data sheet and then specify the argument, which means the cell range where you want to look for the minimum. So I will start by selecting the very first cell and then hold down the control and the shift button and then press down the arrow button as we have been doing. Now, I may want to give room for future entry because if I hit my enter now, it means that by tomorrow, if this particular sheet receive additional inputs or record, which happen to generate less than the value we are going to obtain now, is not going to update. So in order to give room for future entry, I still have to hold down the control and the shift button and hit the down arrow button, which means that you have already captured the entire column cell. So if by tomorrow new value comes in, they will also be what? Be analyzed. Now, you don't have to switch to your analysis sheet before you hit your enter. So you simply press enter here and it has outputted what? The minimum profits. Now, the question now is we want to find out which of the country actually generated this value. That is the direct analysis question we are answering. But we have to implement this first to get the value so that we can trace the value to the country column. So if I go back to my data set now and try to trace the value here, so I can simply do Control F and say I want to find where that value is, which is that particular value we outputted. So let me quickly come here and get that value imputed here. 1, 2, 5, 8.02. So if I come back here and I say what? Find. Okay, so it has automatically called it out. So this is the record. So all I need to do is to trace it to the country column, and then I should be able to write my reports. So I think this should be country column. The country column. Yeah, this is the country column. So is Kuwait. So that is the country that generated the minimum profit. Now, what you are expected to do as an analyst, remember I told us that this is just a dedicated interface which is representing our dashboard for us to perform our technical operations. At the end of each analysis, you are expected to go to PowerPoint or Microsoft Word and summarize all your findings. For example, instead of us just representing it like this, we can simply add a little description here by merging this number of cells together. So I can just come here and merge them across and be able to specify that country. That country was Kuwait. So that is the country that actually generated this. So seeing this will remind me of what I am analyzing. Or the main question, you can as well express it as the country with the minimum profits generated is Kuwait. So you can add with the value of this. So that is the direct application of the minimum as one of the basic, intermediate statistical function. So I believe that is clear. Let me get a response before I continue.
Yes, sir.
How to ask? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
How to ask in highlighting that column that we usually do that is to the sheet end, not to where the record stops. If we've done it to the sheet end before now, and later we want to change it, how do we adjust it on the analysis sheet?
Okay, let's assume you want to change it. Let's go back to the sheet. Let me select the range. So this is the range, right? Now, what we are seeing here is that selection from the row O2 to row 1000, row O, cell O2 to cell O1000, 1,048,000, right? Now, if by tomorrow you want to change it, you change, let's say you want to capture 200 or you want to capture 1,000, you will just delete this. You just come here and put and leave it like this. So once you press enter, so right now it stopped exactly where 1,000 stop. I don't know if I've answered your question, ma.
Yes, you have.
Okay, thank you very much. Is that the only question, or should I proceed?
For now.
Okay.
But you're still going to what you displayed on the PowerPoint about the great minimum greater than. You've not gotten to that stage, right?
Yeah, no. That is what I want to explain now. I just want to explain only the minimum first before adding the condition, because you can join them together. All right, now, so that is just for minimum. Now, let's assume that what we are actually asked to analyze is that we want to know the minimum where the total profit is greater than, let's say, this value. So we have to examine the values we have here and choose our criteria. We have a 6 million plus, 3 million plus. So let's assume that we want to know the minimum where total profit is greater than 3. So let me copy this value. Is greater than 306,000. So let's use that as a benchmark. So if we want to do something like this, we are going to involve the if condition. So the if function is a conditional function which require specification of the criteria for finding the minimum. Unlike the one we did now, there was no condition attached to it. We use the entire values in the column of total profit. So let's go and get our question right first before we can proceed. So this is another question. So let me also copy this Ctrl+C and then paste here Ctrl+V. This is my fourth question. So after this, I'm going to observe 10 minutes break for us to do the same, to answer the same questions I am answering. So here, the question we are answering is that what is the minimum profits? What is the minimum profit where what is the minimum profit where total where total profit is greater than, where total profit is greater than that value, I think it was 306, comma, let's go back and get it right. Let me just copy it to avoid, so that we can be precise with what we are looking for. Where total gross profit is Control C, Control B. Okay, so it's not. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me just call that value here. Now I want you to see the logic I'm going to use now. I can actually copy it, but since we are moving outside the sheet, it's not implementing the copy, but I will use another method to call this value directly to that place. So this is in, so what I will simply do, I have identified the number here. So I will just go back to this. I want to put it here. So I will just type equals to, and then go back to the sheet, and then select that number, and then press enter. It will automatically call it here for you. Now, what are actually, so this is the criteria for finding the minimum. I just want it to be displayed here so that I can impute it. Now, this is where we want to write our function. Now, if you go back to PowerPoint, let me explain it to us first. What you should focus on now is this syntax. So this is just like you are enveloping the if function as a standalone function inside the main, because you are specifying a condition for checking for the minimum. So you start by activating the principal function, which is the minimum, and then next the if as the sub function inside it. They specify the range. So this range is going to represent the selection of all the values we have under total profit. And then we will use this operator to represent the greater than, and then type that 3,000 here. And then we will also reference the same column where is to find, where is to compare this particular word condition. So if you check very well, the argument I define here is the same thing that I'm defining here, which means that you are to select the same column where it's going to compare the condition specified, like in this case, 72. So let's quickly go back there. And please, after you have constructed your function, this is a new introduced function in Excel, which you can only implement successfully if you are running Excel, let's say 2010, 2013, and above. So if you are using 2020, anything from 2013 and above, you don't just press enter to get your result. You hold down the control plus shift plus enter. If you press ordinary enter, it will not be interpreted correctly. That is why I have to bring this here to inform us about this update. So let's quickly go there and define it. So this is where I have it. So I'll start by entering my minimum, activate it, then my if inside, and also open the brackets. So the if is a logical function in Excel that require true value and false value, which means that if the criteria is not met, if the criteria is met, it should display a value called true value. In a situation where the criteria is not does not satisfy, then another value should be called. That is why we say the if function is a logical function that will always require two values. Like as you can see from the syntax, Logical test is the range where you have the value that will be compared with the specified condition. Why value if true and value if false. Now, by default, if you don't specify value if false, a cell will automatically output false. So there is a default value for false. It just left for you to ensure that you define your true value. So now, what is our logical test? Our logical test is to simply switch back to the data and call all the values here. So that is our logical test. So this is the set of range of cells where we want to compare the condition or the criteria to. Okay, so once you have done that, the next thing you are going to do is for you to enter greater than sign, greater than that particular value. If I could get it correctly here, let me see if I can call it here, because if I switch back to the other sheet, it means I have changed the name of the sheet. So that means you are referencing a wrong cell, or wrong sheet rather. So greater than 306. Make sure you don't put the comma, just type the number straight. I want to be sure I'm entering the right value. 097.92. Okay, so you now insert a comma before, insert a comma, then after the comma, you now specify the condition. Sorry, we have already defined the condition. That is, we are saying that the value in this cell range, if it is greater than this, that is the set of value that will be compared or to find the minimum width. Then we are to reference where it's going to find the minimum on by selecting, once you have entered your comma, the same range again, like I just showed us in my slide now, the same range, and then before you close the brackets. And then remember that you open two different brackets, the one for mean and the one for if. So I'll start by closing. So this is the one for mean, and then close the next one for the if. So once I press enter, so this is the value derived. This is the value derived. So like I said, if you are using a lower version, anything except 2010, 2013, you have to hold down the control and shift and enter before you can get your value. So that is what I have here now. So you can see the same syntax that I follow. So I would like us to go through it on that same data. So two things you are going to do for me now before I proceed. You are going to answer this question. What is the minimum profit? And then you should be able to trace the country as well. In fact, okay, just go with that. And then after that, you answer this one. What is the minimum profit where total profit is greater than? So this is the minimum profit. So if you change this particular greater than, if you change this value now to another higher value within the data set, you will notice that what? It will calculate differently. So let's just try that. Let's say we are changing our criteria for finding the minimum to where value is greater than this. Where value is greater than 224. Let me just find a way. Or let me just call it there so that I can edit it. So let me just call it here. So let me just put it here so that you can understand that's the method I used the other time. just enter equal sign in any cell where you want to invoke a value from another sheet into, then go back to the sheet where you want to invoke the value from. So I just want to specify this very one. So you click on it and press enter. Now, I will just touch the function that generated this. And then I will just come here and edit this so that you see how dynamic it is. So let me update it with what? 22459.8. So if I hit enter now, you can see it has generated another minimum. So that is just for you to confirm that the logical function we created is actually what? Working with the right value. So let's quickly go there. Let me enable us to share our screen. I would like to start with
The minimum if is not, I
Oye,
can't,
share your screen now.
I
Just
cannot
allow me
digest it
to
unless.
perform exactly what I've done.
Hmm.
Please, I've enabled you. You can share your screen now and do the same. Answer those same two questions. You want to see the question? I can hope you have written the question. Should I prompt all the sheet again, or you have the question written down already?
I don't have the questions.
Okay.
But this last one you performed is not clear, unless if I'm doing it, you will not put me through. I would have
Okay.
loved you to repeat it, but maybe if I'm doing it, you can now put me through.
Okay. Are you
Let me
saying that
see
to
the
repeat it,
questions.
or when you are doing it?
I don't know which one will be better.
Okay. Okay. Let's leave it to where you are doing it. So let me share the screen there. Just snap the question. Please, let's take down the question. You are answering question. You are answering question 3 and question 4. So if your phone is around you, just quickly snap this particular sheet because we switch from my screen to your screen.
Okay.
Once that's ready, let me know. Okay, so let me assume that we have taken down the question. Okay, so here you can share your screen now. Go ahead and share your screen. Please, I just allocated 10 minutes for this.
will I remember the value we picked?
Just call that value here. I think just choose your own value. Choose any value. Before you start, try and use that method, call the value into that sheet so that you don't have to start switching. Just type equals to in any of the cell there, and then come back here and select the value so that it can prompt it.
Must I type it? I can select the value, right?
No,
without typing.
No. Go back to your analysis, your insight reporting sheet. Because once you switch, just type, that is where you want to output the answer, right?
Yes.
No, so calling the number shouldn't be in that cell. Let it be in the next cell. Because at the end of the day, you will delete it. You just want to use it to remind you the number you are working with. Put it in, no. Go back to, go back to.
I want to copy.
Okay, anyone.
Yes.
Copy. So paste this ahead. So just compute your.
So I'll be on this till I finish.
Yes. You know, at some point you are going back there to select range.
Okay.
No, that is not what to do. Now go back and select all the values in total profit column. So let's say at this point, you are looking for the minimum first, not the one with condition. Okay. We are press enter here. Press enter. Okay, so that is for the minimum. Now you can go for the second question.
Okay. I was not supposed to copy this number now. I'm just looking for minimum. I'm not comparing it with anything.
Yes, this particular number, you will use this for the second.
Will be for the next question.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So this is where I'm confused though, please. Say equal to minimum, right?
Yes, minimum. Open the bracket. The if, type if. You are nesting if function inside it. Open another bracket. Then go and call your range. Go and select all the values in that total profit in your data source. Okay.
So what will I do again? I should go back?
Yes.
Or I should continue here?
No, have you?
I should continue up there.
No, put greater than. Yeah, continue here. You don't go back to that place again. You are not going by a hand. Continue from your greater than that particular value. Remember the value.
Let me type anything now.
Okay, just say above 1 million. Above 1 million. I believe there are values that, or 7 million. I think we have 7 million there.
Million is thousands that we have, hundreds of thousands. Yes.
Check. If they are in thousands,
let me write 200,000.
Okay.
Do I need to put comma in the 200,000? Do I need to put comma?
No. Don't put any position mark. Just type everything.
Okay. If the range greater than this.
Comma. Then after comma, select the same range again.
So why are we selecting the same range again?
Yes, because the first range you selected is to define the criteria. Okay? Then remember that there are two functions you are working with. You nested if inside what? Minimum.
Where is my data, please?
Just go up now, just click somewhere and press down Look at your data now. I can see your data by the left-hand side.
It's just cell
Jump up.
numbering.
Just press
Can I do
and shift and go up.
control? It won't
Control
affect what
shift.
I'm typing.
Just continue. Just continue. Take it up. Take it up. If you want to reselect, take it up. Take it up. Ah, where you are now. Are you sure you selected the right column? Is it the column for total profit, or you are using units? Okay. Click there.
You think I scattered the formula?
Even before you were selecting the wrong one before. Do it again.
I didn't select. I was trying to go up.
So next time,
I just clicked on any of the cell.
You drag it from the scroll bar next time. You drag it from the scroll bar. You can actually drag from the scroll bar to go up and down.
Where?
To avoid the.
Okay, scroll bar. Okay.
So next time, use the scroll bar.
So I should start afresh then.
Yes.
Okay. You see the value I selected here. 850.33.8. Okay. So I've typed it, comma.
You go.
Greater than this.
Comma. Call the range again.
So why are we calling the range again, please?
That is what I just explained to you now, madam.
You said it has to
how many
carry
functions are you working with? How many functions are you working with?
2 functions.
Are you not supposed to give each of them range? When you did just minimum, did you select range?
Minimum. Okay, so the first range we selected was because of the minimum.
Exactly.
The minimum function.
Yes.
Then the second range now, if greater than the same range again.
Correct.
Okay. So I should close the 2 brackets.
Perfect. And press enter. Let's see if it will output the value. So these are questions you can be asked. So just for you to know, oh yeah, press enter. Enter. Did you output?
You enter too few arguments.
You have missed it up somewhere.
Yes.
Now look at that, your minimum. Your minimum was not well spent. I'm seeing.
It's mid.
I'm seeing it.
5.
Yeah.
5. I beg go, let Mercy be doing her own. Let me now
Are you running away? You must finish it.
Wait, no, I was thinking that I'm wasting time. Well, wait for me. Let me just do it in a jiffy. I don't think I will waste time again, I beg. I want to get it.
Okay.
I was thinking that I'm wasting time.
Okay. It's better we get it than rushing. Let's get it.
Okay.
Miss Mercy, hope you are working on your own. I'm coming back. I'm coming to you now. I think Madam I've got it. All right.
Thank you.
Well, You're welcome. Miss Mercy, please let's see if you have been able to do it. So while I'm actually asking us to perform all the, because they are a bit logical. These are not the things you just learn. Later, you might be confused. So the only thing is after the class, you take your time to ask different valid questions. Miss Mercy, please kindly share your screen. Share your screen. Let's see your progress.
Okay, sir.
Right. Right.
So why am I getting 0?
I'm even wondering here because I don't know where that came from. What did you do? Now, after your comma, after your comma, you have to call the range. It's like you came back to this sheet instead of you to complete everything while you are in the other sheet. You are not supposed to come back.
No, I didn't come back. Oh.
Yeah, let's quickly go through it again. Let me watch you carefully. Sorry, I was looking at something.
Okay, let me delete this one.
So let's go there now. Oh yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
306.
306.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
097.92, comma. Then I'll take the profits again, sir.
Huh?
See what I did?
Yes. Now, close the two brackets. Close the first bracket. Just wait for me. Close the bracket.
This is the first one. Then the second one. Oh, sorry. Then the second one.
Now, hold on. Now, in your own case, maybe the version you are using, just press. Remember, there was a note I gave to us where you have to hold down the control and the shift and press enter.
Okay, I should do that.
Yes. Hold down the control button plus the shift before you press enter. Control button.
Should I go back to the?
No. You have to execute here.
Okay.
Maybe that was a mistake.
I should enter. Okay, yeah.
All right.
I've gotten it. Thank you, sir.
All right, so let's quickly proceed. You can share now. Let's move to the next one. I believe that is clear. All right, so the next, we are still on So the next one will be the maximum. So the same logic for maximum. So here we'll be answering another question. So we are going to start with the maximum, and then we'll also add the logical function, the conditional function, which is the if, just like what we did now, but we are answering different analysis questions. So let's assume that we are asked, just copying this. So this time around, we are asked, what is the maximum? So that is the only thing that we just changed. So you can also be asked to calculate what? The maximum, or to find the maximum. Where, okay, so this one is just, I will have copied this one first. Okay, maximum profit. So let me just remove this. Maximum profit. So my syntax will simply be mass. So the idea is to expose us to these statistical functions which can be used to answer your analysis question. So maximum, then I will switch to my sheet where I have the total profit, reference all the cell, including the empty cell in case of tomorrow updates, press enter. So this is the maximum. Now I have my maximum, I have my minimum here. So now let's quickly shift to the next question. The next question is, let me copy this and just edit the minimum to maximum. So gradually our dashboard is becoming complex due to the number of insights you are deriving from your data. Okay, so now I go back to this, I change here to maximum, where profit is greater than, so let me quickly look at the value and just assume also where profit is greater than, okay, let me confirm what Madam said. Okay, these are in thousands, okay. So where profit is greater than 600,000, where profit is greater than 600,000. So what I'm going to simply do here equals to mass, then complete the function, then also nest the if function inside it, then specify your logical test. Your logical test is the selection of all the values in total profit, create room for tomorrow entry, and then greater than 600,000. Then comma, then specify the range again, specify the same range, create room for tomorrow entry also, and then close the brackets. Do not switch to the other page or sheet. You have to complete everything here, because the moment you shift to the other sheet, it means you have reconfigured the name of the sheet, which means you are telling the cell that this particular entry, they are in that sheet. So you close your two brackets, and then, like I said, if you are using a lower version of a cell, hold down the control and the shift and press what? Enter. That will display the results. So this is the maximum profits where the total profit is greater than that 600,000. So let me put it here, 600,000. So that is for that. So let me add, or do we have any question? Do you have any question on this? I want to add additional one before I allow us to practice. Is it clear?
Yes.
All right. So So let me quickly go to the next one. The next one is mode. The next one is mode. Now, mode is to find out the most frequent or frequently occurring number. You know, in statistics, we use this to make important decisions. For example, if you want to award your customers based on their purchasing behavior. So you are going to use mode to know which customer comes in most or which customer patronize you most. So that is when you will use the mode. So for example, if you look at the value here, those same value we're working with, I still have them here. Let's say you have, okay, let's look at these values here. We have 90, we have 60, we have 50. If they are repeated, that is when you can actually get an answer. So there's a note that I put here. If you want to display something like no mode, that is where the condition is not satisfied, because there must be a reoccurrence of a number. A number must be repeated. So in this case now, if we run this code now, there is no number repeated here. We have 19 what entered once. We have 60 entered once. We have 50 entered once. So additionally, we have 90 entered twice or 3 times. That is when we get a return. But in this case, it's going to throw an error. So what I did here is to run mode based on single value, because the function has it in 2 versions. Running mode of single value or running mode on what? Multiple value. So most time we use the one of single value to perform statistical function. Now, let's go to our sheet and answer a valid analysis question based on the data we are working with, because I'm not just considering this for basic purpose. I am relating them to this field of data analysis so that we know how we can answer different analysis questions applying this statistical function. Okay, so let's quickly get a question. So this is question 5. Let me modify that. Control C. V. So this should be my question C. And my question C is, if I go back to the data, let's look for a column or a data that will match what we want to get. So let's say we want to know which value can we use to actually, or which of this column. Order ID. Okay, so let's use order ID, because the order ID specify the numbers of time probably a transaction has happened in this data. So let's use order ID. So in other words, we are going to simply say, let me copy this particular one. Okay. Our analysis question will be, what is the highest? We say highest. Okay, let me see how I'm going to put it. What is the highest number of order ID? What is the highest order ID? So let's assume this is our question. So we are going to simply write equals to, then you type mode. So once you type mode, this is what I was saying. We have mode for single and mode for multiple. So, but we can answer with any of them. Any of them will answer your question. So let's use this one, which is the most used one. And the syntax simply says, define the range where you want me to check the most occurring value, which happen to be the values we have under what? Order ID. So I am going to switch to this sheet and call all the values here. So let's say I want to create room for the future entry and then press enter. So you can see what we have here now. Why did we get this? Because there is no number here repeated twice. That was what I was trying to explain to us. There's no number repeated twice here. If you check through all these are unique value. They are unique value. So now, where you have it this way, remember that you are actually trying to answer a valid analysis question. So if we want to conclude like this, we will now envelope it in if error, just like the way we have that error, because that sign means what? Error. And that error states or denotes that there is no what? Repeated value. So instead of having that error, you want Excel to display no mode. So that passes an important or valid information to you. So that will tell you that, okay, there's no number or order repeated. So you will have to deploy this particular function where you wrap that mode. If error, then you put the mode inside the function, and then you define the range inside the what? The mode, and then you specify this as a statement that should be outputted where there is no mode or any number be occurring. So let's quickly go to the sheet and replicate this. Okay, so what I will simply do, I'll come back here. Let's go to the sheet. Let's say we are outputting it here to equals to if error. Once you type if error, is going to pop up the function. So inside this function, you are supplying the what? The mode. And then inside the mode, you are referencing the same values. Let's say this. And then remember that what? You just simply put a comma. Then you now envelope that statement in a string, which means what? No mode. And then also close it. Remember, it's a string. But before then, you have to close the bracket here, because this is not supposed to be inside the error. So what is actually directly attributed to the error is this very one. Why the range is directly attributed to what? To mode dot single. So that is why you have to close the bracket of the mode before you supply what the error will display. So before you now close the bracket of the error. So I hope you understand it. So if you press enter now, instead of showing us this, whenever there is no mode, it will show us this. Now we want to test the sensitivity. Let's go there and deliberately repeat a value and see whether it will display the actual value or whether it will still display no mode. So if I go back to the data set now and I go to that same order, let me copy this very one, copy, and highlight this particular range and paste it, which means that I'm having the same value now. So I expect it to transform. Once I come here, you can see that they are all getting values now. So this is to tell you that Excel is actually sensitive. It knows what it's doing. Because mode means reoccurring, the highest reoccurring variable in your data set. And that is the question. I believe that is clear. So whenever you have what we are having there as that plus, it means what? You have to expand the column so that you can view all the values. Any question? Because I will allow us to implement these two before I continue. Do we have question or is it clear?
No question. Well, let's just try it.
I don't know.
Let's just try it. It is well.
Oh yeah, try now. Try. So what will happen is that let me share let me stay on this. I believe this will help you. Then while you are doing it, once you have gotten it, you let me know so that I can see your sheet. Hello?
Let's snap the questions.
Okay. So you are answering question 5 and question 6. Can I go back to the PowerPoint now? Just to guide you on the syntax. So while you are doing it, if you have any question, just let me know so that I can come on your screen and guide you. But just try it by looking at the PowerPoint syntax first. Okay, Mrs. Oye, please, can you share your screen? Let me see what you are doing there. Please share your screen, Mrs. Oye.
Honestly, to scroll up at times, even from the scroll back, it will still go back to where it was. I don't know.
No, just drag it up once. Just drag it up once.
You said?
You don't need to go like this. Just hold down on that scroll bar. Hold down on the bar and take it up once.
That's what I'm saying. If I take it up,
No,
it
I
will
think
come back to where it was.
you are scrolling horizontally. That is why. Just try it again. Okay. Miss Mercy, I hope you are also doing the same thing.
It's greater than, we did 600,000, right?
Yes, 600,000. Yes.
It's giving me 0. Why?
Did you press Shift and Enter? Control Shift
No,
and Enter.
I just pressed only enter.
I told
But
you.
before now, it was only enter that I used in the where profit is greater than, where minimum profit.
Just check. Once you get 0 and your syntax is correct, then you can use.
That's what I don't know.
Just
I don't know
take it
if
again.
my
I'm watching you. I'm looking at you now. Just provide it
okay.
again. Let me watch what you are doing. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Okay.
Is greater than, right?
Yes. Greater than 6. Okay. Then, comma.
I want to use only enter again. Let me know whether it's from my syntax that I got it wrong.
Okay. Then close the 2 brackets.
Why is the first bracket showing red? Did you notice it?
Yes. No, that is yeah, it's okay. We show different color.
So I should press enter.
Yes.
Let me know if it will output. If not, still 0. So it's supposed to be shift and enter.
Go back and use the shift and enter. Control shift and enter. Control shift and enter.
Okay, control shift and enter.
Yes, not just shift. We try it.
After the comma, no space, right?
No, no space, no space.
Okay.
Close the bracket. Control Shift and enter. Did you get it now?
Don't know. Is it the answer?
That's the answer now. Don't know.
But in your own, did you get the same answer for both?
Yes, now let me share my screen and show you. Now that's what I got.
Where the total profit is greater than 600,000.
Yes, let me show you. Let me show you. Let me share my screen.
Okay, I snapped it. Let me confirm. Don't worry. I snapped it. Okay, it's correct. It's correct. So the mode, I should do the first mode before doing the error one, right?
Yes, yes.
Mode single.
Yeah.
Under other ID, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to expand it or should I treat it like
don't
that?
Worry, don't worry. Just continue like that. You don't need to expand. It will work. Yeah.
I should close the bracket or just press enter?
Yes, close the brackets since you are just looking for the mode first. That error.
Are we supposed to close bracket or am I supposed to press enter?
Even if you don't close it, to close it since it's just one function. Where it's a must is when you are nesting another function inside one, like that one we did if inside mass. That one you must close.
Okay, because I know since we are doing single, we've not been closed.
Yeah.
Okay, it's saying not applicable.
Good. So do the one of error now. If error. Error. Good.
Mode.
Yeah.
If error. Mode again.
Yes, the mode. Yeah, exactly. Mode. Good.
Mode single.
Yes. They call the range inside. That same range. Good. Go ahead. Okay, now close the brackets and then put comma before you write no mode. Close the mode function bracket.
Any space.
Close the bracket.
No comma.
Close the bracket first.
Put comma.
Yes, comma. Then string inside quotes. No mode. You can use any word. Say no mode found or no number repeated. Any word you want to use to know that it does not exist, you can put it. Any word at all you want to use, it will recognize. No. The quote, close it. Or you close the, so you are closing the if error function bracket now. Good. Or you press enter.
Wait, only the if error. Okay, bracket, because I have closed the single, more single inside.
Yes, exactly. Press enter now. Press enter from here. Good. Now go there and repeat what I did. Now go and deliberately repeat some value and see whether it will transform automatically. Not here. Go back to your data source under that order ID. Just make sure you repeat, even if it is one, just copy it and paste it on the other. Just paste it here. Oh yeah, go back, escape here. Okay. Okay. So you see it now. Perfect. Mercy. Mrs. Oye, I've gotten it. Oh yeah.
You still need practice now.
Yes. That is actually the reason why I'm mandating us to be working in the class. Because I know that most of us, we are so busy that you might not go back. But now with this practice you are doing in the class now, if you go back, you'll be able to understand it. Mrs. Mercy, please share your screen. Let's see what you have done there.
You need to practice off class so that it will master one. Not that you need to read the syntax again before you do it, so that you can actually do it offhand with any question you ask.
Mrs. Mercy, please, we are waiting for you. Share your screen. All right.
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Yeah, you are coming up.
Sorry.
Now.
Yeah.
Okay, you are already on it.
I am now.
You are on it.
Yes, I'm just doing the error. So,
okay,
yeah.
I think it's correct now. It's correct. We are press enter. Oh, you know your challenge, eh? You always switch from the sheet. You are supposed to complete it over there, but it's as if you are coming back to this sheet.
Okay, coming back.
That's the problem.
Let me go back here. Okay, let me just delete it and do it.
Yeah, delete. Okay, so now you are not going back there for anything again. So once you have done collecting your value, you press enter here to now output the result over there.
Okay.
Okay, close the brackets for mode now. Close the mode bracket.
Okay, bro.
So I think comma.
Okay.
Put a comma, then quote, no mode, or whatever word you want to use. Maybe no repeated value. No mode. Then the same thing, quote it. Now you are closing the if error bracket now because you have already closed the one of mode. So close one more bracket. One more bracket, close. Good. Now press enter here. Not that you now go back. That is a mistake you are making. Press enter.
No, that's the same thing.
There's a problem with the formula. Not trying what?
Not trying to be
when the first character
is equal or minus.
Let's go back again. I think there is error. Let me see what's. Wait, just hold on. Let me go through it.
Okay.
If error, mode single this to this. How are you creating the quotes, the quotation? How are you writing it?
Okay, I just selected it from the system.
Wait, hold on. Are you pressing shift?
Okay,
or you are pressing it 2 times?
2 times.
You are the one now. You have to hold down shift.
Okay, I'm supposed to use the shift to do it. Okay, let me just repeat it again.
No. Just edit. You'll have just edit that place now.
Okay, let me just do it afresh. So
just continue.
Don't worry, I will be fast. So look at it. Should I do Control Shift Enter?
No, press enter.
Yeah.
Press enter.
Oh, I got it.
Perfect.
I think the mistake was just
those quotations. You were pressing it twice instead of using shifts.
Twice, yes. Thank you, sir.
All right, so let's unshare our screen. Let's see if we can take one more so that we can go and practice since we don't have a full house. So I think we have applied everything I noted here. You know at what point now you know at what point you have to involve the if error, and at what point you will get that error message. Okay, so let's quickly look at the next statistical function, which can also be used to answer valid analysis question, median, that is middle. So for a certain reason, you may want to know the mid or the middle. Just like the way I have it here, this one is very simple. Just like the way I have it here, we have this set of numbers. Supposing I'm asked to find the middle. Remember, all these things were taught manually, whereby you have to, if you don't have any number at the middle, we are taught that you take one here, take the other one here, and then divide it by 2 those days. But computer is taking care of that for us. So which means that we are looking for the median between the range A1 to A2. So we just have to look for a valid question we can actually answer with it. So let me create a question. So this should be question 7. Question 7. So let's go back to our data and find out. Let's say we want to find the media of unit price values here. So let's use that. So let me reconstruct the question to what is the media median of units price, media of units price. So equals to, you simply what? Write median is a function. Then you switch back to your data set and reference the value involved. I'll take everything here and press enter. So this is the median. Okay. Now, if we want to actually, okay, somebody have question. You have question?
How did it calculate the median?
Yeah, just like the way we were taught in school those days, the median is the middle number. The middle number of all this range that you selected, the one that is at the middle.
So now is value 50 and 51 that it's added and divided by 2, since we have 100 entries.
Yes, that is what happened here, and just like the way we were taught. So Excel has factored it out. So there could be a valid decision that needs to be made by knowing the middle or the median. So I'm just using this to explain that there are some valid analysis questions that some of these questions can answer. Exactly.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I just want to add another one since it's not much. So let's quickly conclude on range. So we stop at range. If there's any question, we attend to it. If there's no question, then I will release us from here so that you can go and practice. But please make sure that the class of yesterday and the class of today, you create time to go through the video again and practice before Saturday's class, please. That is the best way all this can stick to our memory. Now we are looking at, there is another statistical function that it is called range, but it's not, we actually derive this with logic, not a known function. So there is no function inside a cell that is named range. So it is expected that once you know your minimum and your maximum, the difference between them is what forms the range. So there are some valid decisions that might need to be taken by knowing the difference between the maximum and the minimum. That is where we derive the word outlier from, or the correlation. So at the end of your analysis, you want to know the difference between the highest and the lowest. And that will enable you to know just like standard deviation. That's what the degree of dispersion. How does variable A disperse from variable B? So there are valid analysis questions that can be asked. Okay, there are valid decisions that you might be influenced on once you know the difference between the highest and the lowest. So that is where range comes in. So which means that before you answer the question, you must have calculated the minimum. Like here now, we have the minimum. We have the minimum. Was it? I think it was this, where we analyze only the minimum. Okay, this is minimum. We have the minimum of total profit, and then somewhere we also have the maximum. So if I want to calculate my range now, I will just simply do the maximum minus the minimum, which is this, and then I'll hit enter. So this is the range. So which means that we have to attach our report or our output to a valid question that can be asked. So what is the question we are answering at question 8? Is what is the range of the total profits? What is the range of the total profits? So let me write it here. What is the range? Sorry. What is the difference between? So that is what you are indirectly between maximum profits and minimum profits. So you can try it now. Hope it's clear. So that is how we derive our range, the difference between the highest and the lowest. So I want you to try, okay. So here you have question.
So does it mean that if we're asked to find range, then first of all, find the minimum and maximum? There is no direct formula.
That is what it is.
I can't hear you.
Yes, that is what it is. That is what it is. You must find your minimum and maximum first.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
So I'm with
Please,
you.
can you just take that the difference between the maximum profit and the minimum profits?
Okay, so what I did, I simply typed equal sign. Now I have already gotten my minimum and maximum ready, so I just trace their cell. So this is where we analyze the maximum profit. So I selected it, inserted a minus because I'm subtracting, then locate where I analyze the minimum profit, and then hit enter. Okay. That's what I did.
Okay, that is all. All right.
That is all.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So is there any question?
No.
Okay, so please, let's go through all this again before the next class. It will help us to really advance. So we have, we still have a variance to consider. So I will consider that in the next class. I will know how to get all these as statistical functions, which are very much applicable when it comes to analyzing data. So once we have done that, then our next class, once we complete this, we will just start looking at all this sum if and count if, and see how we can relate them to analyzing data. So there's no question. We will draw the curtain here. To have a nice week ahead. See you on Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. All right, good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.